Hi, in this video, I will take you through on how to integrate your on-premise Active Directory with your Azure Active Directory using the Azure AD Connect tool. So, integrating your on-premise Active Directory with your Azure AD makes your users to be more productive, and also it also provides a common identity for your users to access both cloud and on-premise resources. Right. To start off with, let me showcase to you what are the user accounts that I have. So I'm gonna synchronize these user accounts which is inside my Office 365 users OU to my Azure AD, right? So first and foremost, I will have to download the Azure AD Connect tool. So I'm gonna say search for it, download Azure AD Connect, right? So the first link. So here I can click on download and it will download the tool, and I can see what are the system requirements to install this particular tool. When you click on this particular URL, it is going to take you to a detailed page on what is the details of the prerequisite that is needed, and also some of the install instructions can be found in this link. Right, so I have already downloaded this tool and saved it on my desktop, which is here. I'm going to double click and start my installation. Click run, and that is going to extract the package. Right, so the installation begins. I'll have to read and accept the license agreement. I agree. And here I have two options here. One is the use express settings or the customize settings. I'm gonna go ahead with customize settings. And here I have few options here. Use custom installation location, that is, if I do not want the installation to be on the default location, I can click this and change the default location. Use an existing SQL server. If I have more than 100,000 Active Directory objects, then I'll have to have an SQL server to install Azure AD Connect. If I have less than 100,000 objects, then I can use the SQL Express Edition, which is part and parcel of this particular installation. So, the other service account requirement and sync group details are here, which I can select if I want to. I'm just going to go ahead, and you can see that the SQL Server Express Edition has been installed here, and the installation may take a few seconds. Great, the installation has finished. So here I have the user sign-in information that I need to configure, and the first option is the password hash sync. So basically, with the password hash sync, what happens is this allows the users to sign into the cloud using the same password as they have in their on-premises, right? So basically, the passwords which is in on-premise will be synced to the cloud, synced to Azure AD, but only the hash will be saved there, and so it is very secure, and there is no clear text that is being sent or stored anywhere, right? So it is quite secure. Or you could have the pass-through authentication where passwords are not being sent. It's just only a agent which will be installed on the client machines, which will synchronize and which will allow the authentication happen. Then you have the ADFS part comes in, right? And then the other configurations are there. So I'm going to enable single sign-on as well. Click next. This is where it requests me to enter my Azure AD global administrator credentials. So I'm going to put in the credentials. Fine. And then click next, and it is going to verify the credentials. Great, that's done. And now it is going to ask my on-premise Active Directory credentials here. So here, this is my Active Directory folders that I have. I'm going to click Add Directory, and I am going to give my username that's a long password. Right, so that's been added. Click next. And it is going to retrieve my Active Directory schema. So basically it will be the user principal name that I'm going to use it. And I'm going to select this continue without matching all UPN suffixes to verified domains. And click next. And I would want to synchronize not everything, only the users inside this particular OU. So I am going to select sync selected domains and OUs, expand that, and check only this, and click next. So here it will say uniquely identifying your users. So select how users should be identified in your on-premise directories. Users are represented only once across all directories, yes. And then I keep the default settings here and click next. And here I could select a particular group that needs to be synchronized, or synchronized all users and devices in the particular OU that I selected. And I don't have an Exchange on-premise deployment, these two options are grayed out, so I'm just going to go ahead with the password hash synchronization, which I enabled initially, and click next. And of course the password write back is going to require additional licenses. So here it is going to ask for the single sign-on credentials. I'm going to go ahead and give my credentials. Yep, and the credentials have been taken. Click next. And then it's going to configure. Yep. And once you click install, we will do the following, and it's going to give the summary screen here. Right. I'm going to start synchronize until the configuration is completed. Fine. And install. And then the configuration happens. Right, so my installation and the configuration is done. So I'm gonna click on exit. So, okay, now let's open up the M365 portal and see if the users have been synchronized. I can go into the users and I'll be able to go into active users. And sometimes based on the number of objects it may take a few minutes, so now you will be able to see that the users that I've had on premise in my on-premise AD are now being synchronized to my Azure AD. I can also go to the Azure Active Directory, and let me go ahead and sign in, and the users should be synchronized in my Azure Active Directory as well. And until that loads, I can click on the start, click on the synchronization service here, and that should give me if there have been any errors and at what time did it synchronize and all sort of details, right? So I can see how many objects that are being added and the details and all of those, right? If there are any errors, it should list here as well. So let me go back to the Azure AD, click on users, and that will show me the users that have been synchronized. Right. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I will highly appreciate if you could click on the like button below as well as subscribe for this particular channel. Thank you so much. Until our next video, stay safe.